Good afternoon. Today is Thursday, April 30th, 2020. Excuse me. My name is Ricardo Sandoval, and this video is for the final week, week 8 of Biology 240. In this week's readings exercises, we've been talking about the reproductive system for both the male and female species of the human race. In today's video, I'm going to be displaying and talking about some of the anatomical and physiological features of a female fetal pig, which is what I have in front of me. I have determined that that the pig is female because she does have a urogenital opening, which is the opening for urine and the reproductive system that is not present in a male pig. I do have to preface the video again with the fact that I've used this pig for several dissection exercises, and I believe that I may have cut away some of the structures that need to be identified today, but I will do my best to show you each of them, and then of course to discuss the function of each part of the female fetal pig reproductive system. So with that being said, I'm going to switch the camera angle and we'll get to the displaying of the anatomical and physiological features of the pig. Okay, so the first feature that I'm going to talk about is the umbilical cord, which would be on the ventral side here of the pig, the posterior ventral side, but as you can see, that the umbilical cord is gone because I've dissected it or cut it away from previous dissections. But as we all know, in both humans and in pigs, the umbilical cord is what connects to the placenta, and the placenta is what draws nutrients from the mother's bloodstream to feed the baby. So from the mother pig, we have the bloodstream, which goes to the placenta, which goes to the umbilical cord, which then fed this female pig into, I guess, this fetal status. All right, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is the urogenital opening, and that is here. This is the urogenital opening here, this little conical shaped thing. And again, this is what led me to know that this pig is female. And this is the opening where urine comes out, and it's the start of the reproductive system. So the next portion is something called a broad ligament. And what a broad ligament does is it anchors the uterus to the body wall near the kidney. So the kidneys were here, but they're gone. So I'm not sure if the broad ligaments, it should be right around here because this is, of course, the body wall near the kidney. But again, in my dissection of the kidneys, I may have cut away at the broad ligament. So the next item is the ovary, which I would assume should be right around here. And the ovaries, just like in humans, are where eggs are stored and they're released during ovulation. So next up is the uterine body, or the uterus, which should be somewhere around here. And of course, the uterine body, or the uterus, is where during ovulation, from the ovary, the egg travels down the fallopian tube, or the oviduct, via cilia, and then attaches to the uterine wall, assuming that there is fertilization. And from there it grows into a zygote fetus and then into either a mature pig or a human. So next up is the uterine horn. And this is where the uterus and the fallopian tubes meet. Again, I believe I may have destroyed that area during a previous dissection. But again, the uterus and the fallopian tubes do have to meet as the egg travels from ovary down the fallopian tube into the uterus. The allantoic bladder. Now, this is something that is specific to pigs, and it's just very similar to a urinary bladder. So given that this is the urogenital opening, I would expect to see it around here, but I've dissected pretty deeply here to see if I can find anything that looks like it, and I do find mostly bone, not much tissue or anything resembling a bladder. So, I mean, it might be here, perhaps, since this is the where urine comes out. So this might be the allantoic bladder right here. And then lastly is something called the vaginal papilla, or the vaginal papillae in plural. And it's a small growth, basically, that you can either see in a line or in symmetrical patches. In humans, it's located on the labia minora and can also just be seen as a fleshy flap of tissue in humans. Again, I would assume that the vagina should be around here, since this is the opening for the reproductive system, but given previous dissections, I'm not sure it's there. All right, so thank you for listening. This was the reproductive system of the fetal or a female fetal pig.